paying for car insurance?
Hey, good morning, everybody. Cut this down here so I can't hear that. See who's chatting here this morning. Anybody out there this morning? Or are you still froze to death? I see 9 people out there. I just thought I'd hop on here this morning and holler at you just for a second. Good morning. What's everybody doing and where are you at? There's Mac Country Cabin. Good morning. It's hot here. How many degrees is it? 60 degrees. Hey, here in Virginia today, it's supposed to get up to about 65 degrees. You believe that? Right now, it's 20 degrees outside. I've still got about 8 inches of snow on the ground. I don't know about your neck of the woods. Casey, what's going on? Reidsville, North Carolina, 35 degrees. So how much snow did you end up in down in your neck of the woods in North Carolina? And Casey's in Utah. So now I know everybody's just happy that the wintertime's just about over with. I know I am. I hope it's over with. I'm getting a little tired of this here snow now that I got to be pushing around. I don't know about you all. North Alabama. Hello, good morning. Now I'm getting ready to tap some maple trees and make some maple syrup or sugar, either one. Have any of you folks out there ever tapped a maple tree? There's Brady Mullins from McDowell County, West Virginia. Boy, you're not very far from me. Good old McDowell County. Hey, Huckleberry. How many folks out there has ever tapped a sugar maple tree, or any other tree as far as that's concerned? Huckleberry, I've still got about 8 inches of snow. And it's supposed to rain the next couple of days, a whole lot of rain. Last time it done that last year, we had a huge flood up here. Mac Country, did you get any syrup out of it? You know that the before you can tap a sugar maple tree or any other type of a tree, the temperature has to go up from freezing at night and start to raise in the day above freezing. That's what causes the sap to try to run up the tree, and then when it freezes at night, it goes back down. So that's how it works. Yeah, you're in Vermont. I bet you do. Down here in the Appalachian Mountains, when I grew up, I don't ever remember my family tapping any trees. But I know that if you go on the old farms that are around here that still exist, it ain't been turned into a golf course or something. If you'll notice, especially around the old homesteads, there are gigantic sugar maple trees that's been there for some of them 100 years. I've got a few out here in my backyard, and I'm going to tap them this year. So I'm getting ready to do that. I may do that this afternoon if I can find my stuff. Now, I didn't know this, but my brother-in-law up in Charleston, West Virginia, told me that you could tap a black walnut tree, and he did tap the black walnut tree. And I read where the black walnut sugar was a little bit tastier than maple sugar, but I'd have to test that out to see. Did you, North Alabama, what'd you do? Cook that stuff down? 40-1, Huckleberry. The last time I cooked it down, I cooked down 40 gallons of sap and got 1 pint, I believe it was, of syrup. But if you remember back in the pioneer days, that's the only sugar they had. There wasn't no cane sugar, beet sugar, stuff like that. Not in the beginning. If you ate sugar, you ate maple sugar that they cooked out of the trees. And according to historians, white men didn't know how to do it. The Indians showed them how to do it. The Indians would take their tomahawks or whatever they had, and they would slash the trees or the bark on the tree in a V shape like this. And then they would place a birch bark container under that slit and get it full of sap. Yeah, I put a little bit in mine too. Now, I've got a son that lives up in Wisconsin, and he's every once in a while he sends me a good bottle of maple syrup from way up in Wisconsin. But now they've got all kind of different ways of doing it. I still think cooking it down tastes better. But, they have reverse osmosis, which takes most of the water off of the syrup before it's ever cooked. All types of different ways of doing it. But last year down here, there was no maple syrup season. It was too warm. This year is going to be a good one, I'm sure. Because if I go down the road, I can probably see the Amish have probably got thousands of buckets hanging on the trees already. But last year it was too warm. We never had no sap run. But like I say, the pioneers, that's the kind of sugar that they ate. And it was a delicacy too. The Indians used to take that and mix it with, by the way, they cooked that stuff down or evaporated it in, I guess, their little pots they made out of clay. I guess that's how the Indians evaporated it. But white men had, cast iron kettles and metal kettles, and they cooked a lot of it down just like they made their salt when they went to the salt spring to make salt. That's how they did it. But like I say, I've done it. As a matter of fact, I've got a video on how to do it on YouTube. It took me 12 hours to cook down 40 gallons of sap in a pot, I think it was like a 5-gallon pot I cooked it in. But you definitely don't want to use aluminum or anything like that. Don't use aluminum if you cook it. Use stainless steel or good cast iron, but don't use aluminum. Now, before I forget about you all, I'm going to show this knife right here, okay? The other one that I made that was made like this is the pattern that I used. I sold the other one, okay? If you're interested in purchasing this one for $100, you can email me, okay, at readmike279@gmail.com. This is the pattern that I used. I put the handles on this knife. I did not make the blade, okay? If you're interested, I thought I'd show that. For $100, I'll sell it to you. And let me show you the horseshoe knife I made, Huckleberry. Do you remember the video there the other day where I made the horseshoe knife? There it is. Turned out pretty good. I case hardened it. It is very sharp. But I tell you what I'll do. Anybody who wants to buy this one for $100, I'll throw this one in for free. Anyway, you can email me at readmike279@gmail.com if you're interested in that, okay? North Alabama, you run 2 miles of pipe of irrigation for a maple tree farm. Yeah, I know that's how they do it now. They just plumb them trees. It's pretty cool. Goes down to the cooking vat, and they don't have to do anything else. They don't have to go get it every morning. I usually take these, and that's what I'll do this time too. I've got these 5-gallon water jugs, you know, the tall ones that you can buy at Lowe's or wherever. It's got the nice top on them. I set that down on the ground and then run the tube from the tree down in the top of that, tie it down so it can't get turned over. That way trash can't get in it. You know, fallen limbs and junk like that, leaves if the wind's blowing and rain can't get in it, things like that. Yeah, I understand. That's how they do it now. A lot of them don't do it the old fashioned way. But you know, it takes a lot of fuel. It takes a lot of fuel to cook down a lot of maple syrup. That's why when they started making them wide pans out of back in the old days, it had been made out of copper, just like they did the apple butter. They'd make them big old wide pans and cook that stuff down. More surface area you got, the faster you can boil that stuff off. And that's still how they do sugar cane up here. Hey, Casey, you mean for camping or just to have on hand for emergencies? Because I've got a couple of stoves. I've got I just purchased it. It's a Coleman. Takes the little fat propane tank. It's really cool. And of course, I've got that one that I carry around in my backpack to cook with. But it looks like the sun's coming up. Yep, the sun's coming up today. I hope it gets warm up here, melt some of this snow off. Are you talking to me, North Alabama, about the deer hunt, or are you talking to somebody else? Okay, cool. Well, I've got free snow. If anybody wants free snow, bring your truck and a shovel because we have got plenty of it. When I do this video about tapping the sugar maple trees, you'll see. Load it up and take it to California. What would they do with it out there? Make ice cream out of it? You're not suggesting that they'd want any Republican snow, do you? This snow out here is Republican snow. Anybody know what I'm talking about? All right, Huckleberry. I'll make a deal with you, old buddy. Hey, foothills of the Appalachian. Hello, brother. What's going on? Yep, I'm getting ready to tap some my maple trees. Stay away from the yellow snow because your dog may have been out in the backyard. Oh, Lord. What's going on, Tennessee Smoky? You got your blacksmith shop open yet, buddy? Hey, Tennessee Smoky, I've used them things too. I've used them Go-Fars. They are good. Yes, sir. I got all kind of stuff. You see me making the fire with all kind of different methods. Well, I hope it gets warm up here, Smoky. Won't you send me some of that heat? Okay, Mac Country. Yeah, I heard about the rain coming, Tennessee Smoky. Blount County, Tennessee, gonna be close to 70. I'd love to have an old Ford Bronco. A friend of mine had one of them. I never did own one of them, but a friend of mine had one of them. And these new Ford Broncos they're just junk compared to them old ones, in my opinion now. That's just my opinion now, okay? Yep, I agree, buddy. There's too many bells and whistles on them now that go wrong with them right after you buy them. Too many lights pops on it. You know, back in the old days, if you put oil and gas in it and kept the thing greased up good, the thing would run forever. Now, if one of them little lights goes to flashing and you don't know what to do, it costs you $2,000 to get it turned off. Sure enough, I was thinking the other day, I bought my first brand new one. It was a Ford Courier pickup. I bought it at Fayetteville, North Carolina, when I was down there in the Army in 1974. Brand new pickup truck right off the lot for $4,000. And believe it or not, that little old truck was a good truck. And I've got a Mazda sitting out there, and it's the same, built just exactly like a Ford Ranger. Same parts fit them both. All right, Huckleberry. Take care, buddy. Yep, David, them old cars was good cars. Well, if it ain't Brother Frank, hey Frank, what's going on, buddy? Has your torturer showed up yet? Frank, you still got some snow down there? Did it all melt, buddy? I wonder what the temperature dropped up to now. Let me look and see. Hey, it's done went up 6 degrees since I sat down here. 26 degrees. Sounds like a deal, Smokey. Hey, Frank, you got any sugar maple trees down on that farm of yours, brother? I'm going to tap mine. Okay, Ralph. Thank you, brother. Good morning, Uncle Sasquatch Outdoors. You people know Uncle Sasquatch? You need to get to know Uncle Sasquatch and his channel. North Alabama, I had some really bad experiences with Dodge Rams, and I just don't like them. Oh, Lord. Well, Uncle Sasquatch, I got up at 4:30 this morning. I've been up since 4:30. It was plumb cold out there this morning, buddy. But like I say, that's going to make some good maple sap tapping time. I think that's what I may do today. Is tap them maple trees, bigger than Butch. What you gonna get into today, Uncle Sasquatch? You gonna put a handle on a knife? Tennessee Smoky, if it starts going above freezing, which it's doing now, if it gets above freezing, that sap will run. We generally do it up here in February. Like I said last year, it was too warm. It went up, never come back down. It went up and stayed up. But I'm gonna do a video on it and I'll show you. I've already got one on there, but I think I need to do an update. Never know when somebody might want that information. Yeah, me too, Smokey. Now, Tennessee and Kentucky and Ohio and places like that, Pennsylvania, they used to tap a lot of maple trees back in the pioneer days, because that was their main source of sugar I was talking about there a minute ago. Hey, Joey from South Carolina. Yeah, we're doing good, buddy. How you doing? Smoky, I take some brass couplings, 5/8 of an inch brass couplings, like you put your water pipe together with, and I'll drill a hole in the tree, insert that coupling in there, Then I will hook a hose to that and put it in the jug. Just plumb it up, in other words. I've got one big old tree over here that y'all have seen on video several times where I've got a feed box on, a squirrel feeder or bird feeder, ex squirrel feeder. I can probably get 40 gallons of sap out of that one tree. It's huge. Like I was saying, white people didn't know how to do it when they come to America, to the new country. They didn't know how to do it. They learned it from the Indians. Hello from Beach Bluff, Tennessee. Hey, David, what's going on? I don't know, North Alabama. Try it and see. Drill a hole in that tree. Make them some sugar. You never know. He hung it right onto you. Yeah, they still do that up here, Smoky, but now they make these they're tapered stainless steel inserts, and you drill your hole in there, and then they tap that tapered insert in that tree, and they hang their bucket. I've never tapped a sycamore tree. I didn't know you could tap sycamore trees, David. Can you tap them for sugar? The only thing we ever did when I was a kid was, they made apple butter every year, and that's the sweet stuff that we used. Now I have tapped sugar maple trees and I have tapped birch trees because we have birch trees, all black birch up here all over the mountains, and I've got them right out here in the backyard, and it's a little bit different tasting syrup, but it's still good. Basically, it's all sugar when you cook it down. But now you can't let it heat up on you because it will start to ferment if you let it heat up. In other words, you got to keep it cold. When I do it, I keep it outside in the shade where it's cold, and like say if you don't do it, the stuff will heat up on you and it will go bad. In other words, it'll turn to alcohol. What's in there won't be any good. Just in case, how you doing, buddy? Down in Alabama. Hey, Joe, what's happening? I'm going to try it. Let's see. I'm thinking it's going to be a good year, freezing and thawing. This time last year, I was already cutting this year's firewood. Do you believe that? That's how warm it was last February. I'd already had half of it cut. So I'm gonna be getting a late start on it this time. Probably won't get done starting it till March. Because once this snow melts and that ground thaws, it won't be nothing but a muddy mess. Yummy. Tennessee Smoky on a big old cat head biscuit. Smokey, did you go rabbit hunting any this year? Squirrel or rabbit hunting? Yeah, my grandmother, she used to lay them out on top of the house there, Smokey. Grandpa had her uh, a place fixed right on there where she could reach up on the roof of that little old house, the little old shack he lived in, really. She put them apples up on top of the roof. Did you kill any rabbits, Smokey? Hey, Smokey, I want to show you a book. You all ever read that book right there? Anybody? It's an awesome read. It's the story of Simon Kenton, is who it is, and what went on in his lifetime, Daniel Boone, all that kind of stuff. But when you read this book, it's really a story of how the American frontier became what it is today. It was a story, I'll just put it this way. Most of the historical stuff you read in here is about revenge. And what I mean by that is the whites would kill the Indians and the Indians would kill the whites and so on. Revenge killing. That's what the history of the United States come down to in the beginning. It's sad to say, but it looks like it's going to end up that way again. Jamie Miller is Bigfoot around? Yes, sir. His name's Uncle Sasquatch. He lives in Tennessee. Uncle Sasquatch Outdoors. This book here, David's really interesting book. It's sad in a lot of places though to know what white people and Indians would do to one another to snuff their life out. I mean, pure wickedness, really. Well, you're welcome, buddy. What'd you do? He's asking me where Bigfoot was. I said he lives in Tennessee. His name's Uncle Sasquatch. Yeah, you didn't do anything, Jimmy. Well, you all, looks to me like I've done run out of thoughts. Anybody got anything else they want to talk about this morning? Hey, Chris, what's happening, brother? Chris, you gonna tap some sugar maple trees this year? I've been talking about it. I've been talking about it this morning. I think today's the day. If I can find my stuff. I hope I don't have to make a trip to the hardware store. I won't like it if I do. I mean, you can't go to the hardware store and buy a screw unless you pay $1 for it now. I haven't seen him, David. No, sir. Chris, I was asking you, was you going to tap any maple trees? Or do you have any to tap? I know one thing, that stuff's expensive now. How many folks ever bought a quart of it lately? I mean the good stuff, not the sugared down trash. The good stuff is costly now. That's why I want to make some. What have you been drying there, Chris? Tennessee Smoky, which bushcraft? Yes, sir. I did sell that knife. Okay, I sure did. I certainly did. I shipped it out of here yesterday. Well, thanks, Smokey. Appreciate it. You gonna get your shop started this year, Smokey? You gonna get out there and hammer some stuff out? Let me show the other knife again. The one I made, Smokey. In case you ain't seen it. There's your horseshoe. Right there. And of course the other lookalike, this one. I like how that come out right there. That's got 1/4-inch copper rivets in it. By the way, I don't know if you know this or any of you know this or not, but this lookalike come from El Salvador. Okay, the blade did. It's really good steel though, but the holes in the handle are metric. When I went to put them things in there, I had to finagle them holes. Them holes weren't standard; they were metric. But anyway, I said at the beginning of the video, and Huckleberry said he was going to contact me about that, but about this one right here, he said he wanted it. So I told him I'd let him have it for $100, and I'd throw this one in for free. Y'all think that's a good deal? Good, Smokey. I want to see you do a video on what you make, buddy. Adios, amigo. It's about time for me to adios on out of here anyway. I done kept you folks in here for 49 minutes. Yeah, handmade stuff, buddy. It takes a while to get it done, Smokey. You know that if you've hammered one out. But you need to forge weld you one together there, Smokey. Good morning there, Miss Rachel. How are you? Yeah, I'm happy to see the sunshine too, Rachel. Ain't no doubt about that. I'm going to get out here after a while and see if I can tap the sugar maple trees. What's going on, Doug? Yeah, David, I've done a couple of them. If y'all ain't watched my blacksmithing videos, I've got probably 1,000 videos on YouTube now. I don't know how many I got. Need to go on there and get the playlists straightened out too, so that when you click on the playlist, you get what's on the playlist. That takes a while, don't it, boss? I have not, Smokey. I certainly have not. I'll tell you what I'm going to do, though, Smokey. Now that you mentioned it, I'm going to take some chainsaw chain and weld them jokers together and see if I can make a knife out of it. What do you think about that idea? Hey, David. Yeah, there's some grades of rebar that are very, very good for knives. Yes, sir. The best way to make a rebar knife, David, is to take that thing and twist it, weld it back on itself and twist it at least one time. Okay. I should do a video on that, by the way. Hey, Chris, it's time, buddy. We're gonna do one if the good Lord's willing. Lord Smokey, I turned that show down a long time ago when it first come out. They contacted me about being on that show. I've seen it done, but I ain't never done it, so I'm gonna try it. I think I can do it. Thank you so much, Sherry. Appreciate that. Chris, have you was it a gas forge or is it a coal forge? You know, Smokey, that's not really Damascus. Good, you'll like that, Chris. If you can find some good coal. Finding good coal is what the problem is now. I've done several layered knives, Smokey, but they're not really Damascus. Best one I ever made was out of 30, a stack of 30 bandsaw blades. I think I did a video on that too. But I can tell you right now, you got to know what you're doing to get that stuff welded together. Rachel, did he put that in a tube? I know he put it in a tube, didn't he? Yeah. Sometimes they do and sometimes they don't, Smokey. If they don't sell a lot of it, they won't carry it. Now they do up here. They did this year, so I don't know. Rural King ought to carry the stuff, but them Rural King won't sell none. So I live up here in the cold country, so somewhere around here I can get some coal, but I'll tell you right now, it's expensive. It went up from $6 a bag to like $15 for a 40-pound bag. It might be more than that now. I don't know. You didn't see Loretta Lynn over in Butcher Holler, did you, Chris? Okay, cool. Well, you're talking about that forge welding that stuff together, Smokey. If you put that stuff inside a tube and weld that tube up, then no oxygen can get to that metal inside that tube. That's the reason you see them do that. Then those pieces will stick together. If you get them hot enough, if you get them to the welding heat. But if oxygen can get in and around what you're trying to forge weld, that ain't gonna stick because it's gonna scale up on you. It's gonna oxidize. That's what it does. So you got to keep the oxygen away from it. That's why you flux the stuff. Smokey, you come up here, buddy. I'll take you to a place where you can haul you a truckload of them home with you. You can forge weld them things for the rest of your life. Well, I've kept you guys in here for an hour, and I really appreciate you all hopping in here and talking to me this morning. Even when I don't announce it, I still got 19 people that are talking to me. So I really appreciate that. Hey, Vester, that's all right, buddy. I'm getting ready to bail out of here and run. But like I say, I appreciate everybody that hollered at me this morning. Smokey, we'll be doing a video on that pretty soon. Okay. I'm going to run. Okay. I really appreciate each and every person that hopped on here this morning and chatted with me. Now, if you're not catching me on Saturday evening at 7 p.m., I'm on there at 7 p.m. on Saturday evenings, and I will be preaching and singing. Okay. If I know you're not seeing me on Sunday anymore, but I do it on Saturday night now. Okay. Watch your top knot, Uncle Sasquatch. See you all later. So long for now.